Hello everybody, welcome to Tune In Media. My name's Glenn.
And my name's Millie, and today we have...
Leon Jones.
I'm never gonna sacrifice the trust I built for you.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, by the way.
It's alright, don't worry. It's really good to have you. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
I suppose I will. Okay, so my name's Leon Jones. I'm a local artist from Fleetwood. And over the past year, I've been working on my own collection of songs, and I've been releasing them slowly. I was on a Netflix documentary called Simon Cowell, The Next Act, a year ago. It was released in December last year. And basically, I got into the top 16. There was 1,200 people that auditioned. And yeah, I got into the top 16. Simon flew us to Miami, and then we auditioned to be in what is now December 10. And yeah, no, it was an amazing experience. But now I'm back, and I'm working with local college musicians and local producers, working at Rock Hard in Blackpool, and yeah, just creating my own music. And it's all real, it's all grassroots. It's a great story. I don't come from money, and I think it's a really positive story about, you know, like what music should be, and you know, enjoying the local music and the amazing talent that is in Blackpool, really. So there's so much.
I think that's a really fair point, because a lot of people think, I feel like, especially in England, that they have to move to like London or Manchester to go and make it. But it's like, really, there's so much in Blackpool, like with all the venues and all the musicians. It's great.
I think you're right. I think you're completely right. And I think what people don't really understand is that although Blackpool has been classed as this really run-down place for so long, there is so much life here, especially in the music scene. Like, you guys will know. I mean, you interview bands all the time, but there's so much like life going on here. I mean, Bootleg's one of the main ones, isn't it? But then, you know, you've got Waterloo, and then you've got Backstage in Cleveley's. You've got Rye Grooves and all of the stuff that he does with like his open mic nights and the jam nights. There's so much going on, and like I say, like the place that I do my studio at in Rock Hard, it's absolutely amazing. And like, you go for your rehearsals there, and they have rehearsals on every night, but when I go there on even just a random Thursday, and there's just amazing bands playing, and you can just hear like all of this music, and it's all just local people. And I don't know, it just really brings a smile. And of course, like, you know, if you want to be a band and you want to you know, do well in the UK, I mean, I'm finding it really hard, you know, just doing all originals, but I know that you've got to venture out and you've got to go across the UK, but that doesn't mean that to start off you can't do anything like in your local area. And I think the main thing that I really want to do is really show people that, you know, there is nothing to stop you from being able to do what you want to do from where you come from. And I think Blackpool's an amazing place to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, on that note, what inspired you to get into music in the first place?
To be honest, I think I was just a really annoying child. I think when I was younger, I was always in like the school plays, like the school musicals, and I really enjoyed that. And I think I was just loud. I don't think my parents could ever shut me up, so I think they just sent me to choir. So I'd come back with like a sore voice or something. Yeah. So I always used to go to choir, and then like I did Young Voices and all that jazz. And that was really fun. But yeah, I mean, I think that, and then I moved to Fleetwood. So I used to live in a place called Darwin. It's not too far from here. It's near Blackburn. And yeah, I used to live there, and I used to be in the cathedral choir there. There was a cathedral, and I got scouted for that after doing the school choir. And then when we moved here, I went to a place called Screen Theatre Schools.
Oh yeah, I went to Screen.
Did you?
Yes, back in the day.
Yeah, really back in the day. I used to go there just before COVID. And it was great. It was really great there. I did quite a few shows. And then because I was always really more into doing the acting and like the musicals, and that was kind of my thing. And then when I got to high school and had to choose, I chose performing arts as like one of my subjects. And I got to the end of it, and although I loved it, like, don't get me wrong, my performing arts teacher was lovely and all that. But I just realized that the singing was more of it for me. And literally in that last year of school, I picked up a guitar and I started like wanting to be in a band, and I wanted to like write my own stuff. And probably it was about the end of year 10, I'd picked up the guitar, start year 11, took it seriously. And then halfway through year 11, I'd seen these auditions for the Simon Cowell thing. And so I did it on a whim, went to the Liverpool audition, and then it was really strange, because I'd only been playing guitar for about a year and singing, like wanting to do this for about half. And yeah, no, and got in, and I think since then, like realizing that, you know, it could be something that I actually have the capability to do, then it's just, I've not wanted to look back or do anything else. You know what I mean? It's exciting, but it's one of them you just kind of run with your gut.
So do you want to tell us like about a little bit more about the Simon Cowell thing, like the actual TV show?
Yeah. I mean, is there anything you want to know in particular? Like,
just the opportunities, like what has it given you and what have you taken away from it?
okay, yeah. I mean, that's a really good question. I think what I have got from the whole opportunity was really the ability to see like a bit of what the inside world is like.
Yeah.
Sort of stuff you don't really see a lot of the time. And of course, like, you know, you get the exposure, and I got a few followers and like some absolutely amazing fans. By the way, I have like some of the best, like most loyal fans ever. But I think the best part about it was really just getting that eye opener and just realizing that, like, if I've got here, imagine what I can do if I keep working at it.
Definitely. Yeah.
And it was great, you know, meeting Simon Cowell and doing all that. And it was actually, I'll give you a little sneak peek on this interview, because there was one massive thing that didn't get shown in the show, and it should have been a whole episode in itself. So basically, the producers who were working on the show also did, I think it was Fast and Furious. Wow. And so one day we went, they put us in these vans. So like when we got there as well, like, they would shove us in these massive vans, and they'd have all this massive security and all these cameras. So everyone in America was just looking at us in Miami. Like, we're walking out of the Miami airport, and everyone's like looking at us like, who are these guys? And we didn't even know who we were then. Yeah. So, and then like got shoved in these vans. But then one day, we got shoved in this massive van. Everyone's looking at us again. We got all the cameras. We go into this blacked out van with all this aircon, and it was amazing. And then we get driven for about an hour into the middle of the desert, and I'm like, where the bloody hell are we going? And we end up at this go-karting track in the middle of Miami, and it was absolutely amazing. I don't know why they didn't show it, and then basically it was kind of like this competition, and we all had to race each other, and then the top 8 people out of the 16 got to race against Simon Cowell. Everyone there, apart from me, had ridden a go-kart before. I was like, what the hell do I do? I was like, shit, this is like the worst thing I could be doing. And then, no, I ended up being one of the ones that was racing him, and it was really fun. And yeah, just to say that I've raced Simon Cowell in a go-kart in Miami is pretty sick. I don't know why they didn't show that, you know what I mean? It's like, what a cool part of the show that they could have included. But
is Simon a good racer, or is he terrible?
No, he is. I think that's why he wanted to do it. I don't want to get cancelled, but I think that's kind of why, you know what I mean? He was like, let's do something that I'm good at.
Yeah.
He is lovely though. He was really nice. But yeah, he actually injured his back, I think, doing a race, and that's why he had to get like surgery.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, he's a big racer actually. So he is actually really good at it. But
I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The Simon Cowell is a go-kart racer.
Yeah. I don't know why, but it's a cool little hobby, I suppose. If you've got the money and the time.
Why not do it?
Just do whatever you want, isn't it?
Wow, that sounds fun. We should do that. Right. On top of that, from the show, obviously there were 16 of you. Did you say?
Yeah, there was 16 of us that got brought there.
Yeah, is there anyone from those 16 that you've truly stuck with?
Yeah, so there was a guy called Philip on there, and we both didn't get in, and he was from Prague. And don't get me wrong, I'll go on to, there was so many other amazing boys there, but I'll just stick with Philip for the moment. Yeah, I met Philip, and we just instantly clicked, even from the first time we met. So I don't know if you know, but if you look at the show, there's another episode just before we actually go to Miami, and it's about us meeting up in London, because what happened was we were meant to fly over to LA and be with Simon, but we had to postpone that because of Liam Payne's obviously very tragic death. So then we met up in London, more so for Simon to see all the parents and be like, look, I'm really sorry that this has happened. Like, it won't happen with these boys, and we're really, really big on the mental health stuff. And it was really great that we did that, but it also meant that all the boys got to meet up. And yeah, so from the first moment I met with Philip, we were just like, we clicked, and we just spoke the entire day. And we were actually staying at the same hotel, so we got put up in hotels by the management. and we had no clue who was staying in what, and we weren't allowed to make contact with any of them. But after that day, we like snuck down to the restaurant together, and we were like eating, and we were like talking, and he was like, "Bro, I think you're going to be in the band." He said that to me, and he was like, "I just think you're so," because I tried to make a really big effort and put like this massive leather jacket on and look really cool, and I thought I was like giving aura, and he was like, "Bro, I think you're going to get in," and I was like, "Bro, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me." And then yeah, just from then on, like we went to Miami, the whole thing happened, and then afterwards, I said to him like, we really need to connect and make some songs. He came over here, like we did some stuff, and then I went over to Prague, and he's been working with like this amazing producer who produces like the top songs in Prague.
Wow.
And the morning of the first production day, we hadn't had any songs written because we were just like, oh, we'll just write them in the studio. And so we were staying in Philip's sister's flat. And Philip's sister has about 3 cats, and they're absolutely all lovely. And there's one that slept with me because I was sleeping on the couch. And I had a guitar by the side of the bed. I was led down with, I think it was a jacket on me because we couldn't find any covers for me. So I slept with a jacket on me, and I woke up and my hand, like when you lie with your hand off the side of the bed, and the cat woke me up because she started biting my hand.
Evil cat.
Evil cat. And then I started like writing this verse because I was like, yeah, I really want to like get something written for the day. And I was like, you're just the cat that always bites. And then I wrote the first verse. We used
From
to
the
cuddle
cat.
in the week, and I never want to speak 'cause you were always right. And then it was just like a metaphor for it's actually a girl, but it was actually originally written about Philip's sister's cat. And that's how we wrote 9 Lives. And we went into the studio and obviously polished it. And then we created that chorus together. And I think I've got a video somewhere of me and Philip coming up with trying to get up, you keeping me down.
Oh yeah.
And writing that was absolutely amazing. And there's been a whole thing because we've not been able to release that yet. Basically, we got kind of screwed over by some record labels.
As always.
There's been so many people asking me to release them, and we really want to release them independently, but we know that these songs are so good, and we want to give them the love that they deserve, and we don't want to release them unfinished and cause any problems, because we know that these songs are amazing, but we've got to keep our peace and find out when we can post them and the best way to, because we also kind of got, I can't really say, but there was a few things that led to the postpone of that.
Yeah.
But talking about the other boys as well, I absolutely love John. I'm still in contact with John. He was absolutely amazing. And Nicholas. All the other boys are absolutely amazing as well. I had great connections with them all, but I'm just naming like those 3. We had a really close bond when we were over there.
Do you have any other music that you're like producing or in the making?
Yeah, okay. So just at the start of this month, actually, on the 7th of July, I released my new song, Love Again.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Oh, a legend. Yeah, and it's an absolutely, like, it's a great time for me because I've been working on these songs since I got back from Miami, so last year. So I don't come from money, like it's all been funded, all of the studio time from the work that I've been doing. Like I work at a wine bar, and then I used to do like loads of gigs. I used to gig at the Fleetwood Training Ground and Marvin's, just to build up the money to do this, because it's expensive. It's like £50 an hour. And so I've been working on these. I've been writing them with a producer as well. He's called James. He's amazing. And we've just been doing this, like, sort of, we've been working together and creating these songs, and I'd write them, and I'd come to him and I'd be like, I want it to sound like this, and it's just like, boom, it's just like instantly, it's like, there we go. And yeah, no, it's amazing, and we've been working on these songs, and I'm hoping now, so I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek. I've not told anyone this yet, but so we've got Love Again that's come out now, and then I've got one coming out next month called Grab My Arms. It's an absolute banger. I love it. I think that is probably one of my most catchiest songs. It's great. I'd liken it to, it's like heavy rock. It's like not heavy rock, it's like pop rock. But it's really fun. It's really upbeat. It's like, I'll be playing it tomorrow, but it's really exciting. And then we've got another one coming out the month after, which is kind of like a soul vibe. It's kind of a bit more stanky, a bit funky. It's really cool. And then after that, I'm hoping that the EP will be dropping with all 9 songs. So it's an exciting time. Yeah, it's really exciting. And like I say, I've been working on them for so long, and it's going to be a massive weight off my shoulders to actually release. And I think what people don't really understand is, like, for someone who usually does like work, like maybe it'll take you like a week or something to edit or work on the document or something like that, and even that's like a big wait if you've been working on something for a week. These songs I've been, trying to get done for the past like 2 years, and it's just like because I just
feels good to bring it out.
yeah, and I'm kind of a perfectionist as well, so it's like wanting to make sure that everything is perfect. But yeah, no, I mean it's that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah. So you were saying about tomorrow. Would you be able to tell the audience what's happening tomorrow?
Well, I feel like by the time this podcast is out, it will have already happened.
Yeah.
However, tomorrow on the 25th of July, I will have played on the comedy carpet for the Barrio Fiesta, which is a big Filipino festival. They do them all across the world, actually. But I've always been really involved in the Filipino community. As soon as I moved here, we used to go to church every Sunday with these just amazing people. And they just started inviting me to all these parties, and they just, I don't know, there is nothing better. There is nothing better than when I get an invitation to a Filipino party, because the food, the experience, they just all do karaoke. It's just, I genuinely, they're such lovely people, and they're so supportive as well. And it's like a charity thing, I think, tomorrow. But it's just going to be so exciting to get up there and play and watch everyone dance and have a good time. They've got magicians on, they've got dancers, they've got everything. They've got like stalls. So no, it's just an amazing experience. And then we're playing Bootleg on the 4th of September. We're playing The Attic on the 30th of August, and we're also playing the Tap House in Lancaster on the 7th of August. So they're the next few upcoming gigs, and then hopefully I'll get some more booked as well.
You're saying we're playing those gigs, so who's the we? We got a band?
Yeah. So Leon Jones as a release, as a person, is just me. All the songs are written by me. They're all released under my name. However, I just understand that when you're playing live, it's not the same with a backing track.
Amen.
And when I perform so much better with a band, and it's even better when that band's bloody good. And my band is bloody good. We've been the musicians that I met in college, and they're all absolutely amazing. 2 of them are in the Mandrills, and then there's an absolutely amazing keyboard player and an amazing drummer. It's so great to work with them and have been working with them. We've been doing some great work. Like I'll give them the songs, and then they'll even come back to me about, Leon, what about this? And they'll just like add some extras, and it's so cool. And on top of that as well, I've also brought some more musicians who are not in the band but have been recording on some of the songs. So if you look through some of the mentions in some of the upcoming songs, you'll see like names like Luca Pettigrew, who I brought back.
Yes.
He did the solo on Mutual Feelings, my first song, but he's doing a solo on another one. In fact, that stanky, funky solo one that I was telling you about, he does an amazing solo.
It's exciting to see
It's
him play
beautiful.
something funky, because like I've only seen him doing is like rah metal, so that would be quite cool to hear.
Yeah, so it's exciting. I mean, like I say, like it's just amazing because I just want to show off the talent that there is locally. But yeah, the band's just called Leon Jones Live Band. It's just the band that plays with me, but it's all a fair split. It's treated as if it was a band.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, and they're just amazing people, and I couldn't perform without them because it just adds so much to the experience.
Yeah. I'm curious, whilst you're writing music, obviously you said you've been working on these songs for around 2 years. Have you, within that 2 years, experienced writer's block?
Yeah.
And how have you gotten out of that?
So I think kind of with me, and this is just my whole personality in general, but I write so much better under pressure. So it's kind of like when I know I have a song that's bad, it's like I'll want to write a new one. But now I've got to this stage in this EP where I've got all these songs and I really like them all. And now I'm like, do I really want to write anymore? Because I know, right, as soon as I write a good song, I'll want to get it released and I want to record it. And it's kind of like these songs that I've been writing over the past 2 years, there's been so many that I've thrown away and so many songs that I've written and I've just gone, no, it's not good enough. But I'll know that as soon as I finish a song and it's a good song, I'll want to get it released. So actually, since I've finished the last song, and I think the last song we finished is one called Ecstasy. I finished it about March. And since then, it's just been like, I don't want to write anymore. Because I'm just like, I want to get these finished. I want to get them recorded. Because I know if I write anymore, and it sounds stupid because no one else works like that. Everyone's just like, we'll write more songs. But I just know in my head that if I write anymore, I want to get them released. And then it's just extra money, extra time. And then it's
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Just
focus on
I just
the
want to
current
focus on the
ones.
ones I already have because I'm such like a tunnel vision. If I get something in my head, I want to do it. So I'm just like, no, like, I've got to leave it for a little bit. But I definitely get writer's block. And sometimes, you think, oh, I really want to write a song. I need to write something because, you want something good. And it actually happened with that one I was telling you about that Luca plays on, and it's like a really exciting song. It was originally called Lying on the Floor because
Nice.
we could not find like what the lyrics were about, what I could call it. And then one day I was just sat in my room and I was just playing along to the chords and I was like, I need to create something better. And I just, in literally 10 minutes, I absolutely transformed the whole song into something that made sense and something that was a cohesive and interesting song. And it's now about you are together with this girl and she is hands down abusive, but you're kind of into it. And it's like this whole thing because it's like it kind of tells this story where it's a weird situation, and I feel like some of the songs they don't have to be interpreted in exactly the same way, but it's kind of interesting because there's a lot of people out there who do feel like that, but it's not in that sort of way. They just kind of don't know how to get out of it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like with Love Again. I've had so many people who have messaged me and been like, this song perfectly describes my situation. I've just been going through, this or this, and it's really nice to hear someone that actually explains something that I can feel in it. I think that's what it's about, like actually writing songs that mean something to someone. And although all of the songs are love songs or whatever, and it's like, but I think it is nice to create something that someone can actually understand the lyrics to and put it to something, because I think there's a lot of meaningless music out there, and there's not a problem with that. Like I believe that all music is good music apart from AI music, but but I just think that there is a gap in the market at the moment for the sort of music that I'm doing and the sound as well, because there's a lot of great indie music out there, but there's not a lot of indie music that sounds like what I'm doing because it's kind of a bit more pop leaning. And I think that's kind of the difference, and I'm hoping that that's my niche, like my kind of sound. But we'll see, like things crop up all the time, so.
That's actually really cool because like it is good to have people like relate to your music and actually like feel something. And I guess that feels good for you when like people message you saying, I feel something from your music.
100%. And I think as well, what the hardest part about being a musician and writing the music is you can never actually tell which songs are going to pop off and which ones aren't. Like I've got so many songs that I feel, these are great. Yeah. These are absolutely amazing. Like I absolutely love it. And there's some, and you'll get like one and you'll know, I know this is going to do well. But then the majority of them, it's like a gamble. It's like when I released Mutual Feelings, that was my first song, and I was just like, it's just a fun song, and that is my most performed song to date. That is the best performing song. And Love Again, when I released that, I knew that it was a bit more like the lyrics are more ballad-like in Love Again, so it's still like an indie rock song, but the lyrics are a lot more like deep, and I think that's kind of where it loses the momentum that the Mutual Feelings had, because don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Again. But I think it's one of them songs that, this is going to sound really big-headed, but I think it's one of them songs that if I had, a massive label behind me and I was famous, it would kind of be like one of them songs that people were like, that's amazing. But because I'm just, Leon Jones from Blackpool at the moment, it's kind of like, so it's just about creating songs that are going to interest people, and I think that's what I've got to work on doing now.
Yeah. What's social media, right? Promoting music. I was making a point the other day that like you could spend 10 years on an album and you could think this is the best album you've ever written, but if you don't promote it enough, it could get nothing. But then you could write a single, and if you promote it, and even if it's not even that great, it might blow up. And I'm curious, like I've seen your videos on TikTok, Instagram. Has that helped your platform grow?
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a social media professional. I sit there every night and I go, what the hell am I going to post tomorrow? I go, I don't know what I'm doing. And sometimes what I found, it's the ones that are the most fun to record. People can tell if you're having fun. You know what I mean? People can tell if you're enjoying what you're posting, and that really helps. And I've noticed now, at first I was like, listen to my song. This is my song. This is my really cool song. I'm really professional. This is me. People don't care. They just want to know what's relatable. They just want to know how they can link what you're doing to their everyday life. And that's why now, even if they don't do well, you just, you got to post. And sometimes videos won't do well, and that's just the nature of the fast TikTok and Instagram, algorithm now. But you can post something and just relate what has happened in your song to something that people can relate to. And that's when people start clicking it with their actual everyday life. And it's like, I think that is the bridge, It's difficult because, you can promote a song and it could be absolutely dog water, but if you promote it enough and you get people to connect with it, what I've always realized is the more you listen to something, have you ever noticed, like, if you hear a song and it's absolutely awful, if you listen to it more, it kind of becomes okay. Ooh. And that's why, if you notice on the radio, they'll always play like the same 3 songs every time you go into any shop, and like the whole day you'll hear this, because they're the ones that they're trying to get big at the moment. Or if they are big, they're trying to keep on top, because the more you listen to it, the better it's going to sound. It's like, I used to be really into all this, but it's like why all McDonald's are the same. It's because you keep that brand in your head. Where it's like, that's why I try and post sort of similar content all the time. Because if I keep that sort of brand to me, then people are going to associate that with, this is Leon. And it doesn't mean I'm going to blow up, and that's not really how blowing up works. And you've got to build that up over time, and that's why you've got to build that brand. But I think I can't get myself too down on if not every video is viral, because it's not gonna be. That's too perfectionist, and that only really happens when you become that, massive sensation. And I think really what people fail to realize is people like Samba, that the big people who have so much money are there because they have so much money.
To be fair,
they're absolutely amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, Samba's absolutely so talented, but if he was born with
If he was Samba from Blackpool.
If he was Samba from Blackpool, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying, I'm not like dissing any of them, because they're all absolutely amazing. But what I'm saying is, people fail to realize that a lot of this comes from a push from massive labels and a push from the money that they've been able to put in. And it's also, I'm not going to get political, but it's kind of like people around here and like people's living situations. There's so many people who are worse off than me, and maybe they want to do music, but they can't because they've been kicked out by 16. They've got to go find a job. They've got to go live in a house. And you could say, oh, maybe in their evenings they could do the music. Like, energy is a commodity too. Like, it's not just about money. It's about like your mental well-being. If you're doing stuff all day, you don't have the time. And it's kind of like my situation. Like, I'm doing the music, and it's absolutely, and I'm so privileged to be in the situation that I'm in. But then I'm working, and I've got to build up the money, and that's why it's taken me 2 years. I've still got there, but it's taken me much longer than if someone had all the money right now to put into the album. They could have just recorded it in like 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that shows that at least, and you'll know because you're in a band yourself, like the resilience that you need to do this. Because you'll know as well, you spend so much more money, especially at this stage, than you do ever getting back.
Oh, for sure. I feel like you have to take a loss at the start to really make it. Because, studio time, I think we found out, we're trying to work with a producer, and it was like £600 for one song. Yeah. And we want to write an album, and I was like, that's crazy. Like, would you say music is a very accessible thing? And what would you say to those kids listening that maybe don't have that money, but they want to do music? What would your word of advice be for that?
I think it's definitely very accessible. I'm not going to sit here and say that, everyone can be a musician and will be famous, because if I did say that, although it would be exactly what I want to say, it's kind of misleading, because it's like, yeah, I think you can if you've got that drive and determination. And I think, look at Ed Sheeran. He lived in London homeless for 3 years because he just wanted to be there. He just wanted to be there, and he wanted to be in that scene so he could showcase his music. And if you're dedicated like that, then I believe you will. You know what I mean? But I think everyone can play music. There's so many people who come to me and they say, Leon, I wasn't born with anything musically, but I just that's not a thing. I feel like a lot of people say it is, but and you can definitely be born with a better voice or a higher range,
definitely.
but I think it's more your drive and maybe what you did as a kid. I think maybe like if your parents pushed you to do music more as a kid, then that's kind of like the born with it thing. It's like born with parents that want you to do it. But no, I think that. Wait, I've just forgotten what the question was.
I don't know. It's about accessibility in music, and like if you had a word of advice for younger people listening.
I think it's very accessible, and if I was to give the word of advice, it would probably be looping back around to what my original point was. You know, if you've got that drive and you've got that determination, I believe that you can make money, earn a living, and make great music. Like I'm not in this to make money and be famous.
You're doing what you love.
I'm doing what I love, and that's why I've spent so long and so much money, you know, putting it into this. And like all of my friends have been saving up to buy cars, and I've probably burnt through possibly 4 or 5 grand already on doing
Maybe
this
songs.
and doing the songs and like buying equipment and gear and. I could have bought a car, you know what I mean? I could have bought myself loads of nice things, and this is just what I want to do, and I couldn't see myself doing anything different. So if you feel like that, I think you should 100% do it. And I think there is so much in this world that, you know, maybe it is unfair sometimes, and you look at people and you go, oh, why do they have more? But, you know, at the end of the day, it's just what you want to do, isn't it? And
Amen.
everyone's got their own life, and, you know, things are really difficult. And I do really feel for people who, you know, don't have that accessibility, and I really do feel like what I was saying before. You know, if you're kicked out, if you live in a rough area or you're brought up with drugs, I don't like a lot of people really sometimes point the blame or the finger, or like you didn't work enough, or time is a massive thing. It's
That's
a massive
true.
commodity, and not everyone has the energy if they've been doing so much and working so hard. It's I feel like people lack a sort of understanding for that sometimes as well.
Yeah, I mean, the singer in one of my bands, she's just got a job at the zoo, right? But she literally worked like longer than a 9 to 5 yesterday. She's like 15, and it's like we needed to do a band rehearsal that night, and she came in and she was just like, "Oh my god, I'm so tired." And it's like if you're doing that every day, it makes it a lot harder to do music, I guess.
Exactly, you know, like if you're working, if you're trying to earn a living, and I think that's where it does maybe become easier for people with more money. You know, they have the support, but that doesn't mean that they're going to get any further than you guys are. You know, like sometimes what I've understood is that my determination to get there is kind of what drives me forward. It's like I like knowing that I have worked hard to get the stuff, and I like knowing that I'm spending the money that I'm earning to get further, because it kind of makes me feel good and like I'm doing more, and I'm heading towards that direction, even if it is slow. And I think it makes the end a bit more sweet. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Amen. I think that's a good point to close the podcast.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add, Glenn?
I don't have anything else to add.
Do you want to end the podcast, Glenn?
You can have a podcast with me. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Leon. You've generally been like really inspiring, and I'm sure that you're going to inspire like a lot of people in the audience. And just keep doing what you're doing, because you're a really cool guy.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for having me on. It's been really great in the upstairs of Bob and Bert's.
Shout out to Bob and
Shout out to
Thank
Bob
you,
and
Bob and
Bert's.
Bert's.
It's been absolutely amazing, and I've loved every second of it. Thank you so much, guys, for having me, and thank you for the amazing questions as well. It's been brilliant.
Thank you.